Rich, good afternoon to you and welcome to all of you. I know some of you are here for the first time and very pleased to see you along here on a Wednesday lunchtime relaunch, and it's just an opportunity halfway through the week, halfway through the day, just to start again and chance just to chill out a little bit and have the opportunity to get some good food, some good conversation, and just a good, pleasant environment, we hope. So very warm welcome to you, one and all, and to those of you joining us online as well today. It's always lovely to kind of see you. You see us or see me, and we're glad to have you with us as well. And I know some of you are really the other side of the world when you join us, and we're delighted to be able to have that link with you as well, wherever you may be. You will see on the tables there, you'll see a card that gives you the details about our services through this week. Good Friday, just coming up in a couple of days' time, the Good Friday service. at 7:30 on Friday evening, and then Sunday coming we have the usual times of the service, but the morning is one where it's absolutely all ages pitching in. It's always a great moment of celebration as we celebrate the resurrection of Jesus, the most extraordinary and momentous event in all history. And it's not simply something that happened a long time ago and we remember, but it's something that has lasting repercussions for us. And so Sunday is a big, big day of celebration. We have, for the first time really in 2 years, there will be refreshments before the service as well. So from 10:15 onwards on Sunday morning, then 6:30, rounding off the day with our regular evening service of worship. While I'm at it, just new to our bookstall up there, we have this little booklet that has been available for long enough on the website. It's called Get Going, and it's really just 7 very simple steps for you to get going in terms of knowing the Lord and following Jesus, discovering who he is, and discovering that life that he's come to give. These are available at the back. They're very simple, they're free, and if you feel that it would be helpful for you or for someone that you know, do pick a copy up. You can get them off the website, but they're now even more readily to hand like that. And while I'm at it, there is a few copies of this book that if you are interested in it, you can have it for free. It's called Easter Uncut, What Really Happened and Why It Really Matters. And this week of all weeks, it's very appropriate for you, if you've got the spare time, just to be reading through that and understanding what it's all about, what actually happened, and why it does really matter. And that's really what we're on about today. In the bit from the Bible that I'm going to read, this happened just in the kind of run-up to Jesus entering Jerusalem and his coming into the city of Jerusalem. And in some ways, the passage in the Bible that I'm going to read today is essentially helping us understand what Jesus came to do and what he did by the death and resurrection that were his, that we celebrate this week. Sometimes people kind of wonder, what on earth was going on, and why do we make such a fuss about this guy Jesus who was crucified and then rose again? Does it actually mean anything to us? Does it actually have any implications for us? And in the run-up to his entering Jerusalem and culminating in his death there on that cross, what happened in Jericho helps us understand a little bit about what was going on, because what was happening really was change. Jesus brings about change. He changed the course of world history, and he changes the course of our lives as well. No matter who we are, no matter what our issues are, no matter what our problems are, no matter what our background is, he is the one who changes our lives. And this is a story about change. We'll put the words on the screen for you. It's from Mark chapter 10 and verses 46 onwards. And we'll kind of just work our way slowly through it. Then they came to Jericho. Jericho was not that far from Jerusalem. It was kind of down in the Jordan Valley. You've got to go up from Jericho up to Jerusalem. It's a bit of a hike, but it's manageable. They came to Jericho, and as Jesus and his disciples, together with a large crowd, were leaving the city, a blind man called Bartimaeus, which means son of Timaeus, was sitting by the roadside begging. Now that's a kind of starting point, and it sets the scene. Because in a lot of ways we can identify with him. It may be that you're not blind as such, but you are struggling to see what is going on in your life, see and understand what's going on in the world, trying to see what life is all about, and just see some sort of meaning and point to it all. And maybe it's that sort of blindness you would love to see. You would love to kind of be able to figure out what on earth is going on. And here's a man who was blind, quite literally blind, and he's sitting He's not on his feet, and he's begging. He's reliant on others. He doesn't know where his next meal's coming from. He has reached that sort of predicament. And in some ways, it is an expression of the kind of condition that we often find ourselves in. We just kind of come to a standstill in life. That can sometimes happen. Sometimes it's that we just are aware we don't have a leg to stand on because we've messed up so badly. And we know it's our fault and so on. And the one thing above all others that we would really love is actually change. We would like our circumstances to change. We would like the direction of our lives to change. We would like our experience to change. It may be that you're in the depths and you just long to be able to kind of get your head above water and be able to see life in a more positive way. Whatever our circumstances, the great message of the Bible that makes it good news is that what happened in Jerusalem when Jesus was crucified and was raised from the dead means that change, radical, real change becomes possible. He gives to us a new life, he gives to us a new future, and he makes us new people. That's the kind of starting point. So back to the passage and the next verse. Because what goes on from here is really a helpful guide as to how that change happens in our lives. When he heard that it was Jesus of Nazareth, he began to shout, "Jesus, Son of David, have mercy on me." Many rebuked him and told him to be quiet, but he shouted all the more, "Son of David, have mercy on me." Now, the kind of first step, therefore, in terms of our understanding change is simply this. You simply cry out to the Lord. Put that on the screen for you so you've got that in front of your eyes. That really is step number one. It's not complicated. You don't have to have kind of done 3 years at university studying theology. You just need to be in a condition like this guy Bartimaeus where you say, basically, help. You know, I can't help myself. No one else is sorting things out for me. I need help. I'm looking to you. I don't know who you are. I don't know what you are. I don't know how you're going to do it, but please help. That's what Bartimaeus is doing. He just cries out to the Lord. And that's always the first step. It's not complicated, not difficult at all. And the encouragement that the Bible gives is simply this, that God has gone on record as saying, everyone who calls on the name of the Lord will be saved. That's a guarantee, an absolute, total guarantee promise made by God. Everyone who calls in the name of the Lord will be saved. Here's a guy who is calling out. So that's the starting point. Not complicated. I guess most of us could do that. Loud as you like. Just cry out, help, to the Lord. I had to learn to do that when I was at school. I kind of went to school in the Dark Ages, basically. And in the school where I was, they had what were called fags, which is a kind of slightly politer way of speaking about slaves. Wasn't literal slaves exactly, but the younger boys had to do whatever the older boys asked them to do. So if the older boy wanted to go and to go down to the shop and get some sweets or something like that, the younger boy had to do that. And it simply functioned like this. The older boys who were in a position who had that authority in the school, all they needed to do was to stand outside their study and shout out simply fag. And you soon learn how to do it. Fag! Like that, and it just went on. And everyone heard, and they all came running. Brilliant. If you were one of the older boys, not so brilliant if you were younger. Here's a guy who is just bellowing out, top of his voice, and when the people say, hey, calm down, quiet down, things like that, I don't want to hear people like you, he just shouts out even louder. He is desperate. And so that's the first thing, you cry out. Next thing, as we move on from there. Jesus stopped and he said, call him. So they called to the blind man, cheer up, on your feet, he's calling you. And throwing his cloak aside, he jumped to his feet and came to Jesus. Okay, so here's the second thing you do. You don't just cry out to Jesus, you come to him. You recognize that even although you can't see him, and you're no different from Bartimaeus, he couldn't see Jesus. You can't see physically Jesus, so you're just kind of like Bartimaeus here. But you come to him. You recognize, yeah, he's there. All these people who are around him, they're not around him for nothing. There is someone there, even though I can't actually see him. And so you say, well, I'm going to go to him. And so you come to Jesus. You recognize, hey, Jesus, you're there, and you come to him. So that instead of just being a kind of general cry of help to whatever may be out there, you recognize more particularly, there is this person, Jesus, who was crucified, yes, but he is raised, he is alive, so he is for real, he is there. You can't see him any more than Bartimaeus could, but he's there. That's the second thing. Third thing, we move on. What do you want me to do for you? Jesus asked him. And if you were here last week, you remember that's a question that Jesus often asks, and it's a lovely question. Him, the great Jesus, who is able to do all sorts of things, he comes to you and he says, so what do you want me to do for you? And he never imposes himself on anyone. He never says, you're going to have this whether you like it or not. He said, no, you tell me, what is it you really like? What is it you're really after? What is the change in your life that you're looking for? Tell me about it. And so he asked them a question, what do you want me to do for you? And the blind man said, Rabbi, I want to see. What he's doing there is he is speaking to Jesus. Not just a kind of general cry for help, but articulating very clearly, very specifically, very simply, that's what I need. I need to be able to see. I can't see. And please, Jesus, open my eyes so that I can see. That's what I'm looking for. And you spill the beans with him. You tell him. You speak to him. And you begin to just spell it out exactly what it is that you're looking for. More specifically than just, kind of bless me. It's what is the specific need? And you might like to think of that today. What is the specific need that you simply tell him about today? And Bartimaeus spills the beans. He says, yeah, I'd like to see. That's my problem. I can't see, and I need to see, please. That's the third thing. Fourth thing here, go, said Jesus, your faith has healed you. And immediately he received his sight and followed Jesus along the road. What he's doing here is simply trusting Jesus. Jesus tells him, I'm giving you a new start. I'm making you a new person. Now he says, go. And that's the order in which things happen. It is as he responds, as he trusts in Jesus, as he does what Jesus says, as he goes, that his sight is restored to him. So the command that Jesus gives to him is basically saying, trust me on this, that I can give you a new future. I will lead you into that new future. Now head on, step on out into that future by following me, which is what Bartimaeus does. And that's how it is with each of us as well. That's how you experience that change in your life. As you move from just crying out to God, desperation, coming specifically to Jesus, telling him exactly what the problem is, owning up to that, acknowledging what it is, and asking him for whatever it is that maybe need it. Maybe forgiveness, it may be strength, it may be comfort, it may be peace, it may be direction, maybe a multitude of things, but you're saying, Jesus, help me in this. And then as he says to you, you are healed. I give you a new life. I give you a new start. I make you a new person. You trust him on that, and you step out into that future and learn to follow him. Well, may God, this week, not least, bless his word to all our hearts to encourage us and enable us to know that change in our lives. Lord, it is just a thrill for us to read in the scriptures of guys like Bartimaeus and the desperation that is his, and the way in which you seem to love and gravitate to those who are just desperate, those who are in desperate trouble, those who are in desperate need, and those who are not too proud to admit it. And so even as we pause this afternoon and bow before you, in the quietness of these moments, we kind of put our hand up and say, Lord, that's me. I'm desperate. I want to live. I want to be able to see what life is all about. I want to see the purpose that you have for my life. I'm struggling in the dark. I'm struggling in my kind of lack of movement, being stuck here, and I want to move on. Thank you that you bring a wonderful, life-giving power that opens up a new future to us. Would you help us to step out into that future even today, trusting you, following you, learning from you, and discovering ourselves as the days pass by, just how wonderfully transforming you are. Thank you, Jesus, for all that you've done in that death that you died. Thank you that you are now risen, alive, you're King, and you continue to be at work and continue to meet folk like ourselves and do us good. Thank you, Lord, for all your goodness to us. For your own name's sake, we ask it. Amen. Good. Well, as I say, lovely to have you here this afternoon. Enjoy the food, enjoy the coffee, tea, and so on, and enjoy the chat with one another. And lovely to have had you with us as well online. And I thought we might kind of play out this afternoon to a rendering of John Newton's song that speaks about that change. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that changed a wretch like me. I once was blind, now I see. Was lost, now I'm found, and it's a lovely rendering of that we have for you this afternoon.